Okay. Welcome back to Story Time, where we get some of your ridiculous adventures in the Yu-Gi-Oh community read out here on stream. So today we are going to be looking at a tale of a rival and the regional tournament that comes up. So this has been sent in by Mr. Stevens, if you know who that is from the last story, but obviously all the names are protected for people's identity, etc, etc. So if you do want to take part in the series, then you can email in a story and find out how to do that with the video in the description. So for our protagonist here, Mr. Stevens, he tells us, "Hi Farfa, you can call me Mr. Stevens. Here's a story that I will probably never live down, and also the reason a couple of my Yu-Gi-Oh buddies would probably do anything for me to this day. Still, it is the most shameful thing I have done in all my years playing this game." Okay, that's an interesting opening there. So if anyone can hazard a guess as to what the most shameful thing he's ever done in this game is, then take a guess down below. And until this day, his friends would do anything for him. So I wonder what he's done to reach out. Now, this happened around 2011. I remember the XYZ being the news all around, since I was looking forward to them for months by then. I got myself a Leviathan Dragon tin for my birthday, and it started getting the hang of the mechanic. One of my friends, Bud, decided to play Dark Simorgh Turbo. Dark Simorgh Turbo in 2011. That was probably good back then, maybe, kind of. Doesn't sound consistent. But Dark Simorgh is a pretty good card. It's kind of hard to summon. So, if you can't remember what the hell that is, I don't blame you. It never did anything as far as I know. But this card... oops. Oh, I've lost myself since those. Sorry, my mind is completely blanked. If you can't remember what the hell that is, I don't blame you. It never did anything as far as I know. But it's basically a card that refuses to stay down as long as you have a Wind and Dark in your hand. And Grave. Okay. Has a thick 2700 attack and prevents setting. Yeah, it was a strange time, and we have just recently begun going to our locals because they were far away and we were still a bit young. So, Bud decided to play that deck, which was a mix between all the gimpy Blackwings you can imagine and some Harpy cards, mainly Field Spell, Queens, and that one Harpy sister who gives 300 attack to all the wins. I think that's just Harpy Lady Sisters. I'm not sure though. It was all winged beasts, so he played Icarus attack and other such support. I wonder if he was playing Swallow's Nest. I like that card. When we heard there would be a small tournament just for fun, between us local players, we added some new wind fish cards that came out of Generation Force, like Skiss Star Rays to his deck. So you're just making like a wind deck of fish monster. Wind fish. I didn't even know that was a thing. I thought like all fish monsters would just be like aqua. Or water rather. Back then, I think I played Cyber OTK, and I didn't plan on doing anything wild during that tournament. I was so proud of what we did with John's deck, with Bud's deck back then. We thought we discovered the new meta with that gimpy crap. I can't even begin to describe how many useless one-offs he played, but the art was cool and we didn't give it a second thought. We literally worked on that deck for weeks and play tested the crap out of it to optimize it. So Bud and Mr. Stevens are doing their very best to perfect their Dark Simorgh Turbo deck around 2011 time, just when Xyz were all the craze. Okay. It doesn't sound like a very good deck. I'll tell you that much, but let's see where you go with it. One more thing I should mention is that our locals and even regionals aren't really in time of current meta. We follow the ban list but play only what we feel like. Just like, wait, what? You play what you feel like and don't follow the ban list? Our locals and even regionals aren't really in time of current meta. We follow the ban list but play only what we feel. Oh, okay, right. So you don't like play meta, you play what you like. Okay. So I guess if someone happens to like playing meta, well, I guess you guys are fucked for that regional, eh? Because he's just going to win like first place and destroy everyone, I assume. Okay. Just last year, I almost went undefeated with the previously mentioned Cyber OTK. Barely changed since 2014. almost went undefeated. What does that mean? It's like 0-5? Like, I mean, technically that is almost undefeated, you know? Technically, that is almost undefeated. It's not undefeated, it's almost undefeated. So back to the story. The day we thought would, the day of the regional would be the birth of Simorg Turbo, and the day was drawing near. And in the meantime, a guy nobody likes, let's call him, we gave him a name, Conman. Let's call him Conman. He often provoked us. We thought nothing of it until one day, Conman and his friend challenged us to a 2-on-2. Just for fun, we were restless and wanted to show off badly, and agreed. The games were pretty standard, exactly what you'd expect, and as planned, we won, with Bud's deck taking the spotlight. Little did we know that Conman had a plan, and when the tournament rolled around, all of the friendly vibes were gone. Bud clashed with Conman in the semi-finals. I was already out by that point. Conman has some daddy issues, and by that I mean he likes to put Dark Arm Dragon in everything he plays. Daddy issues, so I put dad in all my decks. I don't think that's daddy issues, I think that's just bad deck building. Like, oh, what are you playing? Lightsworn? Yeah, I love Lightsworn. Yeah, I love Lightsworn. Let's play dad in that deck. Oh, True Draco? Yeah, let's play dad. It's a dragon, right? Draco, dragon, Siwo. Yeah, okay. Alright. So when it was time for his match with Bud, he basically replaced every trap card in his deck with his side deck, and not only because traps are gay. I gotta tell you, he cited some weird stuff, like a spellcaster with 1500 defense, which could steal an opponent's dark monster as long as it remains on the field. Does anyone know what that is? 1500 defense, which could steal an opponent's dark monster as long as it remains on the field. Sounds like a weird mind control with a normal summon. But anyway, whatever the case, Conman butchered Bud, and he said he'd do the same at the regionals. Imagine how we felt when our perfect deck was outdone by obscure siding. It was a big hit to our confidence, but it also made a bang at our locals. Dad and Volcanics, exactly. I have daddy issues, I put dad in my Volcanic deck. All the guys who played... I keep forgetting the names, shit. All the guys who played Bud couldn't believe it, and were really sympathetic. On the other hand, the two of us felt like they were all just feeling sorry for us. We were the new guys who were completely and utterly beaten. We sulked for a while, but another dude who I knew because he went to the same school as me, we need to give him a name, let's call him Itchy, started bugging us about Bud's deck. He first looked through it in search for what he called key cards. Those were the ones which basically would still make the deck better if you played only those and go under the 40 card limit. That was a new concept to us, and I especially started seeing decks in a new light through what I thought were pro lens. So this guy, okay, so Ichi picks up your deck and he's like, oh, let me see, okay, right, see, these are your important cards, cut this card, cut this card, cut that card. Wow, Ichi, you're a pro. Yeah, I have the pro lens now. Put your pro lenses on, boys. Basically, he told us not to give up, so we started on trying out newer stuff with less drawbacks. We tried 6 Sam and Madoch, but nothing seemed good enough anymore. It has gone to the point where we would go to Bud's house after school and deck build until it got dark. It became our job to not let down Ichi and prove to ourselves that we can beat Conman. The only rule we placed was no side deck, just to spite him, which was pretty stupid, and I see now that we could have just sided something and probably win with minimal waste of time and money, but that's besides the point. One day, Bud just decided to quit. He said it wasn't fun anymore. I got mad at first and avoided him for a while, but also lost the reason I was doing all that in the first place. So I asked him to come to the regionals with me, and he agreed to go as a spectator. Finally, I'm getting to the point. Ever since I got Leviathan Dragon, I loved rank 3 plays, and due to that still played around with Flying Fish this deep into XYZ era. So I figured it's not fun if I'm not using things I like. I also had 2 Levier the Sea Dragons just lying around doing nothing, and they gave me the idea to play a Banishing Fish deck. I need a break there. I need to, like, I'm sorry, I'm trying to, like, get through this, but I do need to just take a step back for a second. I had 2 Levier the Sea Dragons lying around doing nothing, and they gave me the idea to play a Banishing Fish deck. Banishing fish deck. Okay. Okay. Alright, break time over, let's continue. I added some things that actually ruined the little consistency it had, like Gren Maju and Banisher of the Radiance. Figured I'd make it a stall combo deck. That was one of the first things... That was... What?! I figured I'd make it a stall combo deck. Jesus, Mr. Stevens. Jesus Christ, you're playing... Oh my god. So Mr. Stevens has found Levier the Sea Dragon, so he's felt compelled to play a Banish Fish deck as a stall combo deck. That was one of the first hints about my autism. Oh my god. Well, if that's how you see it. Regardless, I played the hell out of it, and since I felt immense hatred for Conman at that point, I came up with a fun idea. The day of the regionals dawned, and I registered my dumb Banisher Fish deck, but contrary to what was written on my registration paper, my deck had 6 copies of Banisher. Oh my god. It's easy to guess what happened from here, right? I played some guy and I got to Conman in the second round. I've never felt more sick in my life. I thought I had to take a shit, and I also felt like I was about to shit myself. Okay, that's a weird description. That's how nervous I was. Anyways, Daddy Issues Conman playing Darkarm Dragon was a safe bet, and he couldn't really do much against my Banisher. He also played the Fiend build, but what good is Stygian Street Patrol when it's not banished by its own effect? His one-off dad couldn't show up, and my deck proved to be a force to be reckoned with, so he lost 2-0. So you went to this regional and played 6 Banisher of the Radiance just so you could beat Conman. The third round I let slip, just because I could never forgive myself for cheating my way to the top. I accomplished what I came here to do. Bud was impressed by my crazy luck. Conman was frustrated, so I taunted him. And regardless, I beat him as many times as he challenges me. He was, sadly still, too thick-headed for my liking, so we played game after game while the regionals was going on. In the meantime, Ichi, who also fell out, started watching us play. He was standing behind me and lost his shit when I drew 4 Banishers. Out of sheer shame, I quit Yu-Gi-Oh! And missed out on the entire Pendulum era. I still don't know how those fucks work, to be honest, so I can't even play against Pendulum Magicians. Anyway, thanks for taking the time to read this, and I hope you enjoyed it. Oh my god. Oh my god. That was the most anime story I have ever heard. Mr. Stevens took 6 copies of Banisher of the Radiance just to beat his arch nemesis Conman. Wow. Well, guys, if you want to take part in story time, let me know down below. Check the description down below and contact me through email. Make sure that you format the email correctly. Don't make it a wall of text. Write like an adult. Thank you, and see you next time.